Over the last week, all I've been able to see is this one specific shade of green. No matter where I go, it just seems to follow me. If you don't know what I mean, I'm talking about charli XCX's brand new studio album titled BRAT. If you've been anywhere on the internet over the last couple days, it's been pretty hard to avoid. And self-admittedly, I've actually never sat down and listened to an entire charli XCX album before. But with all the hype surrounding this one, I thought I'd actually give it a go, so let's get into it. The album is 41 minutes and 15 songs, so it's pretty fast-paced. But this is something that I personally like. It gives me a lot of different songs and palettes to listen to. Rather than dragging something out, a lot of the songs on here even run under 2 minutes, which I think for such a fun album like this, it actually works as a strength. I'm specifically talking about songs like Back to Back, and I think about it all the time. These are two songs that are very fun to listen to and very lighthearted, and I feel like if they were any longer than they were, it might get a little boring and repetitive. But in the context of keeping them short, I thought it worked out really well. Definitely the strong point when listening to an album like this is the production side. If you're a fan of the now popular umbrella term hyperpop, then this is definitely an album for you to check out, but it's less so on the side of I'm just gonna make a really loud song, and it's more on the side of very tasteful electronic production. This is something that's not new to her sound, but also a heavy use of autotune throughout the tracks. But overall, it's just a very colorful and interesting production to listen to. Some examples of highlights for me would be on the song Mean Girls with the piano and synth lines. They're super bright and just pleasing to listen to. Or songs like Sympathy is a Knife with these really strong clap rolls throughout the entire thing. It's something that's very easy for that high school SoundCloud producer we all know to mess up, but something that's delivered very tastefully. Everything is Romantic is another one that just kind of slapped me in the face and really surprised me. It comes in with this very fairy tale-like instrumental, which is completely different from the rest of the album, and somehow they take this and turn it into a drill beat. Prior to listening to the album, I had actually heard the single Von Dutch, and this is kind of the main selling point for me checking out the full thing because I love that song. I thought it was really catchy, and you can tell me if I'm tripping, but it's almost like a 2024 party rock anthem. But there are moments on this album that I also wasn't a massive fan of. Club Classics is one that just isn't really my type of vibe. I think it's done well and there's nothing really wrong with it. It's just not really a palette that I enjoy to listen to. Another song that was interesting to listen to was Girl So Confusing. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm 99% sure this is shade to Taylor Swift. I had a general vibe and feeling of what I was going to get into by listening to this album, but even despite me going into the album with those expectations, I feel like she did a really good job of keeping it interesting and surprising me. There's a lot of really fun moments in here, but you can also tell that there's substance behind the things that she's trying to say. It's a writing style that's pretty unique. It feels so extremely straightforward, and sometimes it feels like she's not even rhyming. And this is something that couldn't work with other production, but I feel like they've laid the perfect foundation for her voice to be heard. So overall, I think I get the hype. So I'm actually a somewhat hyperpop artist myself. I'm gonna play a little bit of my song at the end, and if it's something you like, then you can check it out in the description. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Peace out.
Maybe I've been fighting so tired, but I'm trying. Getting up, getting right, always minded. Going up and I felt my heart tighten.